It is a pleasure to have King Randall here from the Expert Boys from Albany, Georgia. Just a little bit of background, man. I saw this great video on Twitter, and I'm like, we got to talk. King, thank you so much for joining Grizzle. But I just really thought what you're doing is beyond special. Amazing what you're doing with the Expert Boys. Just wanted to give you, just wanted to help our viewers understand what you're doing. So maybe, King, want to give us a little bit of background on how you started the Expert Boys, your background, how this came to being, because this is probably one of the most special things I've heard of, seen, and done in action.
Absolutely. Well, my name is King Randall. I'm 21 years old. I'm married, have a wife and child, and another child on the way. So the Extra Boys started about 2.5 years ago at my house. I was kind of moving around in the community where I live, and where I live, there's a lot of crime and murder and robbery and all that stuff that happens in our community, but mainly it's among teenagers and young adults and children who aren't grown yet.
Right.
And so I was seeing these things happening, and I'd be going to different community meetings and things like that, and I've been saying we need to do some work with our children. I think if we train our replacements, we could kind of change this culture instead of trying to pass these laws and pass this legislation and pass this and pass that. I'm just like, untrained and unparented children will come and undo all of that if we don't work with them directly. And even with just giving them something to do, such as playing basketball or a new gym or something, I'm just like, that's not going to change their mindsets. Their minds need to be changed. So I started the Extra Boys. I did a summer camp out of my house. For the first year, I had 20 parents that believed in who I was and what I was doing and what I was going to teach, and they dropped their children off every day at my house from 8 to 5. My wife cooked for them. My parents helped me, feed the children at the time. I was running this completely out of my pocket at the time, and I had just lost my job, so it was hard starting it out. And what I've been teaching, I started doing an oil change workshop.
And King, just to confirm, you were 19. That was 3 years ago.
Yep, I was 19. Yeah, I was 19.
So I mean, it's wild. It's
yep.
Man, you had some embers inside you that were speaking greatness.
Right, absolutely. But the children, they cling on to me a little bit more because I'm younger still, and some of them are 17 and 16. And I'm just like, I just graduated like 3 years ago, dude. Like, right. You can't play any of those tricks on me and things like that. I'm not super old, and also it gives them a possible too. I'm their possible, because a lot of children where I live, they have never been outside of the city. Some of them are homeless. They're living in poverty all their lives. So for me to come show them that you can have your own house and have your own cars and have land and animals and all that stuff and be able to do what you want at a young age, this is me being there possible, because they don't feel like they can do it, especially in regards to the media telling them they can't do this because they're black or somebody's holding them down, etc. And I'm coming to show them that nobody's going to hold you down unless you allow them to. Right. And so we're not allowing anybody to hold us down. We're going to simply go get up and go get it. Right. So I started, the first thing I ever did on my wife's birthday, I think it was 2018 or 19, I did an oil change workshop. I taught 20 young men how to change oil. I gave them certificates for it. And to hear some of their parents call me and say, they've never gotten anything their whole life and they want to put their certificates on the wall because they learned how to change oil, and things like that. And then I did a brake change workshop. We did alternators. I started working on cars. And
genius,
then so
genius. That is like absolute, because this is, I think you raised a great point. We're worried about all these frilly things, but things on the fringe, but this is these are real skills that they can take out into the real world and get paid.
Right, absolutely. And this is the biggest thing, getting them paid for these things. So during the summer camp, I started also doing home repair, just real small things like painting. We changed toilets, we changed ceiling fans, we did crown molding, we did all these things. And these children, ages 11 to 17, learned this the entire summer. They learned so much in one summer. And so after that, I started doing a book club, because I noticed at the summer camp, I had maybe like 4 kids that could really read out of the 20. And that's just like maybe read on that grade level. I had children that can't read at all. I had a child, he was in 6th grade and could not read or write. And I'm just like, who passed you all the way to 6th grade and you can't read or write? I'm just like, how you can't even spell cat and dog and none of these things? I'm just like, what's going on? So I started a book club and we started reading constantly. And now our reading comprehension levels are going up, for the children in my program. And these are big
So you're
things,
doing it all, man.
but it's all important.
Behind
It's
the
all
hands.
important.
It's
Yep.
the entire package, King, man.
It's important though. It's
Love
important
it.
because our children, they're not getting it. And even with just this year, this is the first time our program has really kicked off, and people have been finding out about us. And I've been down so long, even running this program. My wife had to start working, and I never did that. I never allowed my wife to work, but I kept trying to run the program, and I kept saying, babe, something's going to happen for us, one day, and I believe somebody's going to see what we're doing, and people are going to start, sowing into our lives.
Yeah.
And she was working, bills were behind. I'm calling my mom, asking her to help me feed the kids. I'm running this, with nothing. I count to the negative everything, but I was still making it happen, for the kids. We still finding some money here and there to go on a field trip or something like that. And I think I posted the first thing that happened on Twitter. Somebody told me I need to start posting what we were doing on Twitter, and I was like, all right, I had maybe like 100 followers at 100, 200 followers at the
And
time.
how long ago did you start on Twitter?
I had a Twitter account since like 2018, but I never got on it until somebody was like, you should start posting what you guys are doing. So I started getting on Twitter, posting things here and there, and I get a few likes. But one day I posted when the boys of this year's summer camp were actually going to, I taught them how to do sheetrock on a ceiling, replacing the ceiling in an apartment complex. And it went viral on Twitter, and like so many people started reaching out and calling. I was on like 100 podcasts and things like that, because people were at that time were like, well, who is this organization? So I hadn't even had a website. None of it. I had nothing going on, no emails, none of that stuff. So people.
And so when did that moment start? When was that? Was that this year or was that last year?
Yeah, that was this year. This was in
wild.
Maybe
So all of
July.
this has just come together this year.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Everything that's happened for us right now has just come together since maybe like July, August. I had people call and say, you should make a GoFundMe and all of these things, not because I'd been wanted to open a school. That was my dream, to open a boarding school for boys.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that, all year. And so somebody was like, well, you should make a GoFundMe so people can donate. So I set up the PayPal, I set up the GoFundMe account. I applied for the nonprofit status. I just did a lot of that stuff. To get all my ducks in a row, and people like just our website was getting like 15, 20,000 people per day, like watching the page and seeing what we were doing. So many people were donating, like we're almost up to $100,000 now, for people just donating, to our school. And so now, we've been doing so much. We got invited to the White House. We've met so many senators and all this stuff. And these are little kids, from Albany, Georgia, who've never been on a trip. Their first trip that they'd ever taken was to the White House to go see the president. Yeah, they'd never been anywhere. They'd never flown on a plane. They'd never been on a real trip ever, in their lives. So for them, and their parents were so excited. And of course, I got a lot of flack, from our community here in Albany. I had a lot of people try to cancel me because we took them to the White House after they got invited. I was just like, well, why would I turn that down?
No,
but yeah, it was a mess.
This is where that cancel culture just gets out of hand. Like, are you really gonna stand in the way of progress and kids who've never gotten on a flight and say, just because we detest the man who's sitting in the White House, I'm not gonna celebrate all of the wins here. It's ludicrous.
Exactly. They were saying I'm using the kids for notoriety. So I got so much hate mail from my own community. I'm just like, you guys are sick. Like even Kelly Leffler was in town, and for me, I reach out to all politicians, that work in our community. If you're an elected official, if you're an official, I reach out to you, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whatever.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
If you're serving my community, I'm going to hold you accountable, and this is what our children need. So I went to, meet Senator Kelly Leffler, and I took a picture with her, but I didn't post it or nothing, but she posted it on her page. I think I was like the fourth picture on the feed she posted.
Right.
And somebody messaged me and was like, you took a picture with a racist criminal, and you're a horrible role model for children, and you're this and that. They just called me all types of names. And I was like, well, never mind our 0% recidivism rate, and never mind us teaching children how to read, and never mind them staying out of jail, and never mind all this stuff that's happening for our children. All because I took a picture with somebody you don't like. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. So the 0%, you talked about this earlier. That is such a crazy number. Talk about that 0%, because you know Absolutely. What? You take a picture with anyone if you can get the 0%. Tell everyone about that 0%.
Absolutely. So I work with juvenile court here in Albany, and they send children to my program if they're having trouble, as long as they're like non-violent offenders. They'll send them to my program, and I can help them. Like if they were doing drugs or selling drugs or things like that, I teach them, I help them, and I love them and I nurture them. And so ever since I've had children being sent to me from juvenile court or juvenile jail, I've had no children return back to jail ever since coming through my program. They changed their lives.
Awesome.
They're changing who they are. Their grades are better in school. Their teachers are giving good, good reports on their children. So these are things that are happening within the Extra Boys. It's one of the programs that I've been running out of my house for the past 2.5 years. And
Wow.
so now what's about to happen? We've been looking at a location for our school, and the school that's on the video, we had to cancel on because there were so many things going on with the owner that we didn't know and things like that. So we canceled on that building, but our Doherty County school superintendent reached out and was telling me that there's 3 different schools that they don't use anymore, like actual schools here in Albany that they don't use.
Okay.
So I had looked at a location on our more impoverished side of town, the east side of Albany,
Yeah.
and the school's in great condition. They just stopped using it about a year ago. The roof has been redone. All the painting is brand new. All the flooring's new. All the carpet's new. They have projector screens and everything in there. Cafeteria, kitchen's great. Everything's great. Not to mention, I wouldn't have to get it rezoned for a school. It's already
Wow, man.
zoned for a school. It
It's a
sits on
gift from
11
God,
acres.
man.
Yep, sits on 11 acres. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to negotiate with them on how we can acquire the school. He was telling me about us having to pay a certain amount for the school, but I found out that the school was actually on the list to be demolished. So I was just like, well, if you were going to demolish the school, you might as well just give it to us and consider that a free demolishing. Like you should gift us the school. Like that should be something that's good for the community. We're clearly beneficial, to our community. We've been in Yahoo and we're being Forbes in March. Like a lot of people are supporting our cause, and I would hate to have to cause a ruckus about this school location that you could give us for free because you were about to demolish it.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. So sometimes you have to pull your cards. I love him to death. The superintendent's a great guy.
Yeah.
But like I told him, I'm just like, if you guys were about to demolish it, it was going to cost us taxpayers money for you to demolish that school versus you giving it to a cause that everybody in the community mostly supports. Especially with us, keeping children off the streets and keeping them from doing drugs and bringing their grades up and keeping, making better citizens in society. That's what it's all about. So, yep, that's where our 0% comes in. We don't send any children that come to us from jail. They never go back. And that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. And not even just going back, you're arming them with the skill set that is really, this is the skill set, doing things like changing a toilet, drywall. These are the things that are valued in society now, much greater than being able to sell a cell phone. You know what I mean? This is what gets paid, and this is the challenge right now where, we talked about it, but before we went on air, we were talking about just how education has become ridiculous in the sense that you're paying all this money and you don't come out with a real skill set. Right. This is the exact opposite.
Absolutely. I think people have to understand also with the children, a lot of older people get upset with them for playing video games and things like that. But I'm just like, you have to kind of meet them in the middle. Yeah. So now, somebody messaged us, sent us an email and was like, I'll sponsor you guys $1,000 computer for you guys to build. So right now we have PC parts coming in right now, and I have 2 computer geeks. They already know how to build computers. What? And they were just like, we're going to make a gaming PC. And so what I would like for them to do is sell it and make a profit from it. However, I'm sure they're going to play with it and things like that. I get it. So I'm going to allow them to build that computer, and help teach everybody else how to do it. And my biggest thing is making like workshops for them all to learn something new and something different. And because they don't know what they're interested in until they try something. Like even I just flew to San Diego maybe about a month ago, and we went to San Diego and we were partnering with Red Eye Nation Esports. It's an online gaming that they get paid for if they win. So they have to win the tournaments and they make money from playing video games. Okay. So these are things like to meet them in the middle. They like to play video games. I'm like, well, somebody's getting paid to do it. Sure. I have people coming to teach them how to fly drones and drone racing so they can, get paid to fly drones. Even doing drone inspections for buildings that they can't go in. You send a drone inside the building. Right. And you get paid for inspecting the building via drone.
Oh, man, I didn't realize the drone world was that like defined.
Yes, they are making thousands. They are making thousands there, and I think
Wow.
that's the most beautiful thing for our children to see. My biggest thing is just trying to partner up with different people. Like we have them going hunting, and fishing. I think it's in February or March.
Oh, good.
I just a lot I want to expose their minds to because they don't know what they're interested in. We have a workshop with a lawyer coming up in Atlanta.
Wow.
I have a surgeon who wants to bring 2 or 3 of them in the operating room to kind of look at what's going on. And I was telling people, I was like, what's interesting is I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and what's crazy is my community, people look like me, are the people who are I have a hard time getting to support what they're doing for the children. But then they want to call me all types of names because white people or other people in different races like what we're doing. And I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, well, I'm like that. What is the problem? Just simply because somebody white said, "Oh, I like what they're doing. I'm a sellout now." And I keep telling them, I'm like, I'm not a famous celebrity. I'm not anybody that could sway a vote or any. I'm not anybody special
No.
for me to go be like, "Hey, everybody go vote for this person," and they're gonna do it. And I'm just like, you're not calling all these other
Oh,
celebrity sellouts because they're saying on the Democratic side they're getting paid. I'm like, but I didn't get paid to say anything, in regards to any politics or anything. They're
what?
saying I'm making money and off the children saying stuff about Trump and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
King,
It's
like one
crazy.
of the things that I've like, I think one of we only have a certain amount of energy to give into this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can choose how to exert that energy. That
Yeah.
what you're doing with the Extra Boys is perhaps the greatest, it's that perpetual motion of energy that everyone should define to. And I find so much of that politicking, all of that stuff just takes away. It's not
Mm-hmm.
building young men. Like
Right.
how are you going to hate on somebody who's actually has a track record of building upstanding young men that are getting paid? Come on.
Yeah, they say so
Show me
much.
your track record. And they don't
Right.
got a track record. And that's
Right.
why they're hating. And until you break, and this is the problem across America. What we're seeing here is these people with no track records talking a lot, right?
Yep, that's mostly it's mostly the older guys and things like that. They make posts every time I say something. Half the time I don't even post about politics. I'm just posting in regard to our children. And I hadn't even been posting so much lately because we have so much going on, that I'm trying to build and make
Yeah.
happen for next year. So I hadn't even been posting so much because I still have the boys most of the time. But right now I've had them, home for the holidays. But I did have a Christmas party with them. We did gingerbread houses and
Awesome.
s'mores and all that. And I don't post a lot of that intimate stuff that we do. I just don't. We do a lot. And I don't have time to post everything every day
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm giving
yeah.
them so much attention. But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. But so many people have reached out, and so many people have been in support in our city. I've been getting again more support from people in our city that don't look like me. But major business owners, they've been doing 10% nights for us. They've been donating. It's been so beautiful, and so people have
That's
been wanting
awesome.
to donate their time. I have people want to fly them to come tour factories and come look at the different jobs they could get into.
That's
We have
great,
taught them
man.
how to weld, horseback riding. We've done so much because people just see what we're doing and they want to help. And I'm just like, nobody's asked me for a vote. Nobody's asked me to use us for any type of
Yeah, yeah,
props
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything. I'm like, people are just wanting to give their time, and I'm just like,
Well,
and I'm
well,
going to
yeah,
let the boys get these experiences, whether
well,
you like it or not.
well, there's only one outcome here for the Extra Boys is to create great men, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Simply
the
that.
one outcome, and you're delivering on that. And so I gotta ask you, like, this is just like you're such a young guy, you're wise beyond your years. Wait, you know what I mean? Like you're just brushing off all of this politics. Like I've never seen anyone. You don't let anything get into your radar. I love it, man.
Absolutely.
So you
I'm a glass half full type of guy.
love it, man.
That's just me. I've always been glass half full. No matter what happens, the glass is still half full. The only way I'll empty my water is if I keep focusing on if I don't have any water or not. So I just simply look at what I have and be grateful for it. And things happen. I'm a super giving person, and that's mainly how everything happens for our organization. If you talk to any of my children, they'll tell you all I do all day is give. I give
that
to homeless people. I give to cashiers at restaurants. I pay for
I
people's food, all
love
that stuff. I do that because we get so much back. And
it.
I was telling the boys, I showed them this because I told them they can speak things into existence. I'm just like, I have to show them this so they can go and do it. And so like one day we were at Burger King and I gave the cashier like $50 because she was aggravated. I could tell she was upset. And I had a last 50 in my pocket, and I was like, "Well, here, take this, and just try to have a good rest of your evening," because it was late and she had been there all day. And I was like, just have a good rest of your evening, because I'm sure it made her night, you know,
Oh yeah.
a little bit better, and everybody else she came into contact with was able to receive some good energy from her, because you don't know how your bad energy could, you know,
Well, you
affect
know what?
somebody else.
Like,
And so,
those kind of really big giving moments,
mhm,
it will always leave an impression with that cashier, right? That,
absolutely.
like they will always remember that person, that when you were in that tough spot, and that person who just really picked you up. And that's what you're doing
Right.
with each one of these young men, right? Like,
Mhm.
they're all in their own unique tough spots, right? And
Right.
so I gotta ask you, so you're doing this incredible work in Albany, Georgia, a tough place to grow up, right? And
Mhm.
surely there are a lot of other similar situations across America that could use this model. And like, clearly this is something that should be replicated.
Mhm.
King, you got to run with this, man. And like, prove this
Absolutely.
out. And let's go. Let's get this everywhere,
Mhm.
wherever it needs to be. This is the best dollar that can be possibly spent, because you're not sending them to some Yahoo degree and you don't know what's going to come out the other end. You're getting real skills in these kids, and they're going to be productive, and making a ton of money, right? These are plumbers are like some of the best bulge bracket winners,
Yep,
like in
they did a
any city.
plumbing workshop before. Some guys came to do some plumbing, and they did a workshop with them, and they charged $90 an hour.
That's
You
right.
know, and I'm just like, guys, this is where the money is. I say, even if you don't want to do the plumbing, you could open up a plumbing business and go pay some A students in plumbing to go work for you. There's this book I read by Robert Kiyosaki called "Why A Students Work for C Students." Because I may not be an expert in that, but I'll pay that expert to go
Right.
do it for me. You know, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like Henry Ford. You know, he didn't
Yeah.
he wasn't the car guru, but the guys he paid were car gurus. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
those are things. That's how it works. And so even when I was explaining about the Burger King thing, I gave her the $50, and I told the boys immediately in the car. I said, "Now watch how fast we get that back. Simply because we gave." And so the next morning we woke up, somebody dropped $3,000 in our GoFundMe. And I was
No
just like,
way,
this.
man.
I'm like, this is what happens. Just the other day, I gave this kid, I gave him $40. He was sitting outside of our mall. He was like, "Hey, you got like $1 or something?" And I was like, "No, I don't got no cash." But something was like, "Go to the ATM and go grab some money." So I got $40 out of there. I gave it to him, and he was like, he exploded. Like he was like, "What?" He exploded. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got in the truck, and I was just like, again, watch what happens. And then the next, I not even the next day, I was riding on the road, and I passed by one of our accounting places. It's called Malden and Jenkins. And I passed by there, and somebody from there gave me a call, and they said, "Hey, we chose your organization for our Christmas donation of $2,500. When could you come pick up the check?" And I was like, "I literally just passed you guys. Like I just passed y'all." And
Wow.
then for Christmas, I served 35 families. I had 35 families that I went and gave to. I made a post on Facebook, and I said, "Does anybody have trouble giving their children gifts for Christmas?" On about shoes, tablets, headphones. I tried to get them exactly what they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went and served 35 families. And when I made that post, somebody emailed me and was like, "Hey, can you serve any more families?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah." I was like, "I'm gonna need some more funds." But so they sent some money. They sent $1,000, and they was like, "Well, here, this is to serve more families." And I was like, "Great." And so with that, he was like, "Also, I'm the part co-owner of one of our mechanic franchises, one of our auto repair franchises here in Albany." And he was like, "We'd like to donate $5,000 to you guys' organization to go towards you guys' school." And I was like, "See, I keep telling y'all, if you
That's
keep
amazing.
giving," I said, "you
So,
keep
so,
giving, God will keep giving back."
yeah.
So that's why all I do all day is give, literally cash apping people. And I do it because I have no care in the world,
Yeah.
because I know God's gonna make a way. My bill's gonna stay paid. The boys are still gonna be able to do what they need to do. We're
Well,
gonna
look.
open our school. So
Look at where you are now, man. No one's let you down. You haven't
yep,
been let down so far. That karma loop has been. It's a powerful thing, right?
yep, we're gonna keep
Yeah.
doing
You know
it.
what, King? Once like this whole COVID thing figures out, I would love to come out to Albany. I'd love to see what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
When would you possibly get into the new school, or the old school? Is that something like you guys? It can happen in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually supposed to be meeting with the school board on January the 11th.
Okay.
So hopefully something shakes that day or within that month. Hopefully something shakes and they can make a decision on whether they can give us the building or for a lower price
Yep.
than the value of it. Again, you were about to demolish it, so You know, that's my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully, if as soon as we get in there, the building is already in condition to use. So I'll simply just go ahead and start doing our little workshops there. Go ahead and set the school up. The biggest thing would be if we can get them to give us the building, we can use our donation money to furnish the school, desk, paintings, put our logos everywhere,
Yeah.
change the wording outside the school, landscaping, pressure washing, because the outside of school needs some good little pressure washing and things like that. It's kind of like cosmetic stuff. Make sure to get the cameras back working, because their cameras up. They have all the wires there, but of course they need a system to go to. So I just security system, making sure fire alarms work, inspection reports, all that stuff, just to kind of make sure everything's ready. But for the summertime, we actually are. Well, this is what we're doing for the summer, and this is kind of what I've been working on the most. So we're trying to get Home Depot and a few of our construction companies in Albany to sponsor this. What we're doing for the summer is we're actually going to take 40 young men and teach them how to build two small 500 square foot houses from the ground up.
I
Um,
love it.
and
That's
so with
that's
these two,
brilliant.
absolutely. So with these two houses, they'll be in competition. It'll be 20 boys per team. They'll be in competition with building these houses. They'll be able to do their own floor plan. They'll be able to pick their own appliances, their own windows, doors, etc. Their color paint, what type of roof you want to put on it, etc. We want to make sure that the boys are learning how to, do everything: HVAC, plumbing, electricity, etc. But do it in their own way. So they'll assign each other leaders and who's going to be responsible for what, etc. But it'll be a competition, and there'll also be a lot of discipline there too. This will be a 6-week program, and also one of our studios here in Albany actually wants to do a documentary on it, and they're actually planning to try and pitch it to Netflix to buy our documentary for what we've been doing for the summer. So I
Go,
think,
go, go. That's
yeah. So I
it.
think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be awesome. And so
Oh,
with
wow.
that, we're gonna build the two houses, and like I said, it'll be a lot of discipline. So sometimes they may lose 2 or 3 hours on their house depending on how they act. And for me, I always teach the boys they all get in trouble together. They all win together.
Yeah.
So if one person acts up, everybody is in trouble, because I want you to learn to police each other, because we have this, culture now where we allow each other to do stupid things and laugh at it and record it, etc.
Right.
Versus us, everybody getting in trouble for what that one person did. We're going to police each other. And that's big for me because they have a brotherhood. There's no
Yeah, yeah.
selfishness here in the Extra Boys. So I try to make sure that they have a brotherhood. But after they're finished building these houses, we'll probably get the mayor to judge it, or maybe a B-list celebrity or two that I probably could get to come and judge the houses for them. And we're at the end, we're going to donate these two houses to some homeless veterans. So that's what we're gonna do with these two houses. But we're gonna do a 6-week documentary on it. Gonna do a little GoPro thing so people can see the houses go all the way up.
I
And it's
love
not
it.
gonna take long. It's only 500 square feet, nothing real big. Just something to learn how to build a house. Something I can say I built the house from the ground up.
Well, you know what?
So
It's like, and you're obviously following the whole tiny home movement, right? Like
mhm.
there are some amazing things you can put on a 500 square foot thing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like people are like going out of their way to go check out these these homes that are like tight. You open up every little drawer. It's like right
Yeah,
beside each other.
absolutely.
It really shows you, and it's kind of one of those things you don't need 5,000 square feet. 500 gets you what you need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait to see, how they build their houses, how they decide to design them with the blueprints. It'll look like it's going to be awesome. So I'm glad I came up with the idea ahead of time so I can get the necessary permits and all that stuff like that for them to be able to do this. Got to make sure I, get all the waivers and all that stuff like that, because somebody's bound to get hurt, somebody's bound to forget something, all
Yeah,
that stuff. So I
yeah.
just want to make sure I'm covered there. But that's the idea for the summer. So I've been jumping real hard on that, plus trying to get a curriculum together, for our new
Wow.
school, how we're gonna manage it, getting the bus. I gotta
Yep.
get my CDL license with a passenger endorsement. So I'm
Wow.
working on a whole lot,
Yeah, yeah.
at one time, but we're gonna make it happen here in Albany. Absolutely.
Well, King, I can't I'm just so blown away, and you just kind of left me with so much like positivity, man. Yeah, you got that spirit inside you, man. So, and if there's anything Grizzle can do, so yeah, as I told you, we kind of do the whole financial learning thing. I'd love to do a module for the boys, right?
Absolutely.
Like on the stock market, just understanding how capital is created and how we can use it to build better, bigger things. But the best capital is that it's that human capital, and that's what you're
Absolutely.
teaching these boys, man. I can't I'm just thrilled that someone's doing this. King, I can't wait to let's stay in touch through 2021, man. I'm blessing big things on you. Not that you need it, the star is already in orbit, man. Listen, man, this was such a crazy 2020. I think so the main thing is people can still donate to the X for Boys, and that's on your website. We're gonna put the link and everything, but
Absolutely.
give us an idea of what people can do to help.
All right, so here's the website here. So all you have to do is go to the xforboys.org. You can click the second tab that says donate, has our mailing address and our PayPal right here. And our GoFundMe is gofundme.com/the But this is where you could go to donate. Here's our gallery. It shows you everything that the boys do. They painted houses, firearms training. They learn how to shoot guns, plasma cutting. They learn how to use a plasma cutter, and welding. Home improvement, toilets, ceiling fans, painting, doorknobs, sheetrock, fencing. These are things that our boys are learning how to do in Albany. Automotive repair. I mean, I have more pictures I haven't even posted.
Wow.
And I don't even have our travel thing up yet, because I haven't even posted like everywhere that we've traveled to, all the states we've been, all the cities we've traveled to and did field trips on. But we've been a lot of places. Our merchandise. Again, we do a lot.
Clothes look good, man.
I appreciate
tight,
it,
man. Looking real tight.
That's what we have going on with the X for Boys, and I definitely appreciate you having me on. Absolutely.
Now, King, and you know what? Obviously let us know what Grizzle can do to help in any way. But we'd love to be a part of part of the educational process if there's an opportunity, right? And I think but you're arming them with what they need right now in the here and now. King, thank you very much. Again, guys, it's the X for Boys. King is building great young men. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. My pleasure.